All right, moving on to the second set, and now KT is actually sending out a Protoss player who is probably who they would have sent out in the first game if they thought either C or Light would be there. But Light especially. Light, this is definitely his weakness, is against Protoss, and he just lost to a Protoss in an important game on this map too, versus Woonjin Stars, lost against Free. But anyways, Light is up here at the 2 o'clock position in green, and down at the 8 o'clock in red is Violet. I almost said Hoja again. Unfortunately, Hoja is not going to come back to see us again, at least not in this finals.
Hoja was ripped to pieces and sacrificed to whatever god that it is that Light worships. So that's what happened there. The mechanical gods of Terran. But this is going to be on TVP, which are a lot of fun on TVP. No, this is going to be a TVP on the match point. There we go. Focus, Ranchin. Focus. And there's a lot of fun because you get a lot of fun Arbiter play on this map. It goes often into late game, and it's just overall a lot of fun. Just always comes down to whether Terrans can take bases or hold them, because it's definitely easier for Protoss to take bases and to take away bases because of Arbiter play, because Arbiters really are very useful, particularly when the game gets too late game. The 6 and 12 o'clock become extremely important factors, and an Arbiter on those locations can just very easily turn the tide. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens.
That's true, but siege tanks are especially powerful on this map just because of the way the ledges are set up. So I think it's easier for a Terran to hold a base, but you're right, it is easier for Protoss to take the base. Usually Protoss just expand up or down. If they're at the top, they just expand down. If they're down like this, they're going to, I think we're seeing a 12 Nexus here, 12 Nexus from Violet, so he's trying to get that economic advantage already. I'm guessing that the Marines won't be able to come in time for a bunker rush or something. We'll see what Light is capable of. I've seen a lot of Terran players go for the bunker rush of a 12 Nexus recently, but oh well. Okay, so Light, he actually lost to Free on this map, as I said, and almost completely ruined his team's chances of getting to this position by doing it. He went for a wacky Vessel Wraith combo, and I was talking to people afterwards saying they should make a buddy cop TV series about it, like Vessel and Wraith together as one, to snipe observers. Yes, it was a wacky build, and it didn't quite work. So I'll be anxious to see if he tries that again, or if he goes for something a little bit different.
Yeah, we're just going to see what it is that he decides to go for. We're probably going to see the factor already. He's going to expand pretty quickly because he's only mining at the moment from 1 SCV from the refinery, and a lot of people I think want to look at the choice that KT made here. Oh, bunk! I'm like talking, I want to analyze the game, but no, play-by-play time. Bunker gonna come up, Marines running in. We're running a little bit late. 4 probes gonna be ready there. 3 coming off the line. Actually, no, they're actually not coming off the line to engage this. They're just gonna go to mine. So actually, now finally a couple of them running out. The bunker not finished. What? CV running back to meet one of the Marines, and the CV goes down right now. That'll be outright hilarious. Bunch of probes being pulled off the line now. CV being forced back with 1 Marine to support it, and Zealot out. So Light, smartly enough, he's not pulling any SCVs to support this. He is gonna get the bunker up. Out of nowhere, the SCV just one more hit, and the bunker comes up. 1 Marine inside. The second Marine also going to come in. He's going to barely manage to get inside that. He's not even going to bother. He's just going to pump and try to kill as many probes as he can. 1 SCV, second SCV coming in. They're going to try to repair the bunker.
Oh, nice.
Zealot, second Zealot coming in, but I think with 2 SCVs trying to repair this, we'll still micro around. The SCVs are going to go down. The bunker to go down as well. So overall, not a too big a loss for either player. A few probes went down, but overall not too much damage done. Vulture also coming in, so we might make sure we micro that around the Zealots and do some more damage. But overall, at the very least, the Light did not focus too many SCVs, did not pull any SCVs off the line except that one that one that came in from the one extra SCV that came in to repair. But other than that, the only thing he has the Vulture inside, now with the Dragoon in there, that's going to be it. But at the very least, there's no mining going down the natural. So Light, I think, used this as a tactic to just help himself get his own base up, which he's not doing right now, but he's going to be able to do it and possibly fight equally on the economic standpoint because of the little bit of damage done.
Yeah, I'd say Light played pretty well. He was putting his SCVs back on the bunker and off the bunker so he could stay out of range of a unit that would hurt them, But unfortunately, he didn't really have enough SCVs in to completely repair it against 2 Zealots. I don't think it was fully committed anyway. He has a couple of Vultures out now. Oh, laying mines, just in case Violet should go for just a break of the front. See another gateway coming up for Violet. And the reason that, well, I guess the reason that he lost to Free on this map is because Free was able to secure the expansion straight up, as I was talking about earlier. And he didn't expand a whole lot himself. I remember him being at least 1 or 2 bases behind Free that entire game. But we can't say, unfortunately, we can't say that he's bad against Protoss on this map just because he beat Bisu on this map in a deciding game. That was actually one of his all kills, which was against SKT1, of course. Took out Bisu on this map, and that was just stellar play. So there's no telling if Light is going to step up to the plate. I mean, he's never had this much pressure on him before, so it's hard to tell how he's going to react to it. Reacted to it well in the first game, but you never know. More and more pressure.
Yeah, he might feel less comfortable when he knows that it's not his best matchup. And he's playing against Violet, who I don't think he didn't see much action in the Winners League overall, but he's very much a sniper. He's a guy that can bring the win in any given situation. He really was an important factor of KT during the first 2 rounds of Pro League. So I kind of understand why they bring him out rather than say Stats, who actually I believe has a better stat, excuse pun, at PVT than Light does. And Light going for a science facility already, so God knows you might go for that lovely Wraith Science Hustle combo that Nuke hates so much.
I don't hate it. I think it's humorous, if not completely irrelevant
Effective.
At some point in the game. But yes, he took out a few observers with it. It worked out well enough. Okay, he's finally getting up the academy for his scan. He's going to do a drop right now. He's going to drop some Vultures inside of the main, and he has them speed upgraded, so this should cause a lot of damage. It looks like Violet actually might be anticipating that. He has some Dragoons running back inside of his main, so at least he might have seen it with that observer, but oh, he's definitely going to see it now, passing right by that observer. So now Violet could probably run back with a lot of Dragoons and get ready to tackle this. Here comes a drop anyway from Light. He is committed to this now. Oh man, the dropship might go down. Dropship does not go down. But Violet is completely prepared in here. I don't think any probes are going to go down. Nope. Almost completely denied. Every single Vulture denied. So completely failed harassment, and Violet is doing good right out of the gate. No probe kills whatsoever, so he definitely has that on his side, and I think he's going to go out and take his 3rd base soon enough.
Yeah, you want to definitely fight on the base part against the turn on this map. You want to take an extra base. Just to say taking the mineral only will already give him a sizable advantage, although he probably will want to push to the upper left-hand corner, pick up that extra gas, and hurry on to Arbiters for his Science Hustle now out. And I'm wondering whether it is really for observer sniping. Mind you, it will be effective because there are a lot of observers on the map, adding in more factories at the moment. And he is, I think, building a Wraith. Might be going for another drop shit, try to drop again. But he might be building another Wraith to try to stop those pesky observers. Has a lot of Vultures all over the place. And we meanwhile see Violet picking up the mineral only first, simply because it's going to be easier to reinforce, easier to defend to start off while going for the upper left-hand corner. You're gonna be forced to plant some of your army out there. There is gonna be the buddy cop show. Hey, Taylor, we gonna go out there and get some of them damn observers. They doing bad than us, man.
Never do that voice again. But okay, the sniping of 1 observer, and let's see if this buddy cop team can find any more. They're going to look all over the place, and actually this is probably going to cause a lot of damage. So maybe Light has perfected this strategy a little bit, can make it a little bit more useful this time around against a player who probably isn't as good as Free. Free, of course, was considered a dragon at some point. I guess he still is considered a dragon, but Violet, not many people hold him up to that same level as the awesome 6 dragons were at one point in time. But another observer going down. We'll get you. I'm not going to try your voice. I'm not even going to try it. But okay, the top 10 o'clock base going to be taken soon from Violet, and he's going to try to do some massive expanding while Light is just flying all over the place inside of his main with his Vessel Wraith combo.
Yeah, just going around, continue sniping them observers, making sure that at the very least Violet does not know what's going on Wow, Violet going very Dragoon heavy at the moment and starting to now saturate his mineral only. Yeah, buddy cop show, fun. It'd be funny if, like, yeah, the Wraith has that voice that I had, and then the Science Vessel has some sort of weird voice like that guy from, like that cat thing from Thundercats or something.
Sure.
Hey, lion, no. No. All right, Observer still, Violet's still focusing very heavy, getting a bunch of those Observers out their mine, almost hitting the Dragoons, but nice micro there. Gonna try to pick off the damn pair of pesky Observer snipers. So at the very least, that this last time he went for this build, I think he just didn't have as strong as an economy, didn't focus as much on that alongside, went for this too quickly, basically, went for the Science Vessel and Wraith too quickly before he really was ready for it. Going to pick off yet another Observer here as he moves out with his tanks and Vultures. Going to maybe try to put down some pressure, lay down some position. A lot of Zealots are now been produced by Violet. Still not speed upgraded, though, so he's not really going to be able to fight back those tanks and heavy Vultures with mines until he gets those Zealots to run in and get those mine drags. Still don't know if he has any shuttles out there for Zealot bombs either.
Yeah, this is actually playing out a lot like his game versus Free. He's just now getting his third base, maybe a little bit later than he wanted it. But yeah, he's definitely going to be behind in bases compared to a Violet soon. Violet, I mean, he already has his 10 o'clock up and running. So right now he's just got to fend off this massive push. There's a pretty big push inside the map. I'm interested to see what Light is going to do with this. Looks like he's just falling back right now for the defense. I guess he might see the number of troops out there. There are a lot of troops out there for Violet. So if he goes for a pincer attack, he might be able to get this done if he can catch the tanks unsieged or something. Looks like he has some of his troop down at the 6 o'clock position. He wants to take that for himself, so he's getting rid of the mine down there. But he's got to bring his army together because he got to fight a huge tank line soon. Huge tank line in the middle of the map, and I think that Light wants to get next to that natural expansion. That is such an evil, evil place for a Terran player to just camp out and just stay there, surround it with mines, and just destroy that nexus. It's basically a free destroyed nexus if you can manage to set up there. But man, Violet's got a huge army. He might be able to get this done.
Going to see what happens. He does have a sizable force still getting up that upper left hand, while Light actually started to put up a base at the lower right hand. And he still has a pretty good army. He has some Marines out there still planting down a lot of mines. And one thing that might be detrimental to Violet right now, he doesn't have any Arbor support, but he's actually going to go for the engagement here. Zealots laddering in first, not too much to blockade for those tanks. Dragoon's going to come in, but there were some defensive makes at the first. Tank's still going to manage to shell. Dragoon's going to go out, catch the lower right hand and pick that off, and Light's going to lose his battle running with some reinforcements, some tanks still at the back, still one D-Matrix tank at the front that's going to die, but Light not even managing to fall back, losing a lot, losing that lower right hand base, and gets most of his army wiped out, while Violet decide, ooh, the audacity of this kid, picks up the 6 o'clock as well, just as he does that. Beautiful pressure from him, picking the correct moment at exactly the right time, had more than enough troops to do it, and he knew it, so great move there by him.
Yeah, I'm kind of questioning Light's judgment to go for that same build. I mean, he just very, very recently used this build, and it looks like Violet had seen that build, and he knew just how to react to it. He even had some troops down at the 5 o'clock position to get rid of that base at the exact same time he was doing the pincer attack. So it's almost as if he was one step ahead of Light that whole time. Maybe he saw that coming. Once he saw the Wraith and Vessel combo, he says, well, maybe I just watched that game versus Free, and I'll know how to counter this. What did Free do? What would Free do? You can write that on a little bracelet, put it on yourself. But okay, two Science Vessels right now, and the Vessels, they've been basically just doing some D-matrixing. That is what they're good for right now. Eventually, they're going to do a lot of EMP of this troop, but man, Violet's doing such a good job expanding. He denied the 4th base, and really, at this point, it's going to be so difficult for Light to take that 4th base. He's going to have to get a lot of siege tanks out before he even tries to think about doing this. And while Stargates are coming up right now for Violet, this is swinging very quickly into Violet's favor. And if he holds Light back, I think he'll be able to take this game.
Yeah, Violet still has a very sizable army, recharging that huge amount of forces very quickly. Now even going to go into pressure this mineral only. A lot of tanks and vultures ready for him, though. I'm a little bit surprised that I understand why he went for D-Matrix, but I actually feel a couple of EMPs at that moment when that attack went on would have actually been a little bit more effective. If he had EMP'd all those Dragoons coming in, the tanks would have ripped him to shreds right away, and the Dragoons just wouldn't have been able to engage. And Violet gonna pick Fleet Bacon and 2 additional Stargates. Meanwhile, also picking up the lower right hand. So Violet, he's got a fire in his belly, all right. Also has a shuttle there for Zealot bombs. And I don't know if Light, even if Light knows this is coming, how's he going to fight back? Even an Arbiter Tribunal out there? What the? Oh my
wow.
God, wow. Violet's just basically he's expecting to support everything. And there's nothing Light will be able to do against this. There are going to be carriers. But, you know, you're going to fight back carriers with Goliath. You can't fight back carriers with Goliath when you have a huge ground army to deal with alongside it. So anything that, yeah, basically any anti-air force is going to get picked off by the ground army, and the ground army is going to be picked off by everything as well. So Light desperately needs to pick up a base for himself. Try to go for the 12 o'clock. Mine, oh, if he almost killing that Dragoon, but Dragoon very least spots the drop coming in, but just Light standing on 3 bases on 2 gas. Violet gonna get his what, 5th gas soon, 6th base. This is madness. This is madness.
I'm not going to say it. Yes, yeah, you said it anyway. But okay, the base being harassed up here at the 10 o'clock position, but Violet's going to be able to take care of that. Man, everything is going wrong for Light in this game. He got that spot, oh wow, dropping right between all of these Stargates. If he didn't scout that before, he definitely knows about it now. So now he's going to pump nothing but Goliath from all of his factories, but... Okay, Violet moving up here with a small force. He has plenty of Dragoons to get rid of that little harassing force, I think. So Light... good effort, but he's not going to be able to get any harassment done there. Now he's moving out with a huge army. Now he's going to try to push out, take another base. He's going to be in for a rude surprise once he finds that the 5 o'clock position that is actually taken, though. He gets 1 EMP on the troops, and he's going for... Oh, wow, we're getting out carriers in this game now, and I don't see a single Goliath out at the moment. Yeah, I think we're going to have a High Templars in here getting this... storm over everything. 1 D-Matrix of 1 tank, and now the KT coaches are happy. Yay! I think they held a very crying Hoja after that last game and did a demon sacrifice or something, because now everything is going wrong for Light. Everything is going wrong for Light, and he's going to have so many carriers to deal with soon.
Yeah, it's really bad position. You can spot the NBC base. They're like, oh crap, this is bad. And these carriers are going to have Arbiter support. 2 Cybernetics cores spinning right now to get those carriers up to snuff. And just absolutely nothing that Light can do. He's going to try to siege on this bottom right hand, try to get rid of those cannons. But carriers on the way to take care of that. Finally some Goliaths on the way. But also only 1 single armory upgrading for this entire time for Light. His only armor 1 weapon, so you want to be ahead up a Protoss significantly, especially in the kind of situation you are in. At the very least, try to win the engagements, but he can't even do it. He is going to start sieging up the 6. Yeah, scan going off. At the very least, he's going to be able to do some damage there, but the carriers are in his base, picking off his factories, and I know I almost repeated a meme there, and I apologize, but this is just insane. Violet is absolutely, like Light, absolutely dominated Hoja. Violet has come in there. You know what? I'm going to do the same to you.
Icon has cheeseburger. Anyways, the carriers coming up right now. They picked off 1 of the factories, and 1 of them is very badly damaged. But really, it doesn't really matter for Violet at this point. He's losing 2 of his bases, so he's got to be a little bit more careful down here. He has a huge ground army that he can utilize right here. Oh, Light sieging up. He has a few troops on the top. He has a lot of Goliaths coming in, actually, so he's going to probably be able to take this battle. But still, the carriers are in here getting that counter attack, basically. He's just countering with carriers. And Light's actually doing a pretty good job here. He's focused firing on the carriers. Violet, he loses a carrier kind of carelessly there. Careless carrier micro, but okay, he's coming up. Still getting some nice harassment of that natural expansion, though. And Lights actually might be able to get back into this game. He just took out the 5 o'clock, and he's denied mining at the 6 o'clock, so Violet kind of panicking a little bit. He's going to take the 12 o'clock and say, well, maybe he can't harass 3/4 of the base, 3/4 of the map if I take 3/4 of it.
Oh, God. But the problem is he's already taken down 3 factories with those carriers. Now it's going to be the 4th. More carriers coming in. He has 6 or 7 carriers, and they pick off factories at an insane pace. Nothing to really help against it because Light's going in on mineral only. He's going to start focusing there. He's trying to go for a counterattack. Even more forces coming in on the ground for Violet. Those, okay, initial Zealot's going to get picked off by mines, but Dragoon's right behind that. They're going to come in close. They're going to manage to do damage, dragging mines into those. Light's going to be able to get that mineral only. So this is kind of a bit of a base trading, but the problem is that Light's just not going to be able to produce troops at all. Carrier's going to fall back. but there's just no chance whatsoever for him to produce. He's going to get the pylon that's powering the Stargate, so at the very least not going to be as many carriers now, and got some siege tanks at the upper left end, but I still think Violet has a significantly large hold on this match simply because of the fact that he's done so much damage already.
Yeah, he's done a lot of damage, but Light, I have to give credit to Light because he is really ripping his way back into this game. I mean, he took out one base, he denied mining of another one, now he's trying to take out the 10 o'clock base, and there's no power on any of these Stargates, so Light doing a fantastic job right now of locking down this game so he can get his factories back up, maybe get another base up and running. He does have that 5 o'clock base, so Light doing a fantastic job fighting his way back up into this game because Violet definitely had a huge economic advantage. But Light just attacking everywhere. He attacked everywhere. He attacked about 3 bases. He's going to be able to take out this Nexus with a single Vulture. And he's getting rid of all the probes at the 12 o'clock position. So Light doing fantastically, I have to say. Look at all the MBC Hero Vulture taking out the Nexus. So Violet, kind of a lapse of, I guess, macro and micro there. Just wasn't able to defend. I mean, just focus on defending one of those bases and it would have been okay. But he still has a large number of carriers, and he's getting a counterattack down here, but he has a lot of tanks to deal with.
Oh, storming some of those tanks. A lot of the tanks here for Light actually managed to put this back. Also, Light did the mistake of basically sending in all the forces piecemeal, picking off our command center. Was going to try to float in towards the SIG dropship there as well for him alongside his carriers to support in case he needs it. Nothing really to defend here. All the turrets going to go down momentarily. Still not that many factories for Light to continue production. He's going to be able to crush everything here. He's going to go, the army is going to go down. Goodbye Goliaths. No more Goliath production. Some ACV distance mining at the 12, but still Light, just with that with those carriers, still might get back in the game just with that because he still had a huge amount of those. One pylon's going to allow him to continue producing those, maybe not at the mass rate that he could do at one point. He's going to pick another command center, though. There was no mining going on here, though, thankfully, for Light, but his mineral only has to be dying at this point. In the bottom right hand, really the only mining base he has, while Light's still going strong, even has some mining still left in his natural expo. Okay, still no power on the Stargates, interestingly enough, so Light's going to be able to pick those off, make sure there are no more carriers coming at him. But this is such a hard game to call because both players just fighting all over the map, picking off everything off each other. Yet again, Light going to go for the upper left hand, going to try to pick that off. Not even sieging this time. Damn.
Yeah, Violet, the important part is he lost one carrier carelessly earlier, but he hasn't lost any more since that point, I believe. And he's got a really nice grouping together. Look at Light. I think he's going to pump nothing but Wraiths down here or something. He has 2 starports up, so he knows he needs some heavy, heavy anti-air. He's still mining up at that base at the 12 o'clock. He has to float everything off now. He built a lot of turrets down here because that's pretty much his only hope at this point. He's just built turrets everywhere and hope he can fight it off. But man, so many High Templar coming out. The 10 o'clock position is gone, and Light taking out the 12 o'clock. So man, Light is muscling his way back up into this game. But unfortunately, just lost one of his only mining bases down. It might have been his only mining base.
Yep.
I think he still has... Well, does he have the mineral only? I don't. Oh, he just now got the 6 o'clock base, but that's probably not going to last too long. Some High Templar coming down now. Oh, wow. The whole carrier fleet. Very, very scary amount of carriers here.
This is insane. I'm pretty sure he lost the mineral only earlier to those carriers. He's actually going to float a command center towards that 12, but I'm assuming the carriers are going to go there pretty soon as well. Violet has mostly transitioned to just a carrier army at this point. Doesn't really have much. Well, he still has a ground army, but it's not nearly as sizable as it used to be. And he still has mining going on, although he needs to pick up another base. He has a lot of High Templars now just to try to storm over all those Goliaths. But he really needs to pick up that upper left hand again and try to pick up that 6 o'clock for himself. Also, anti-air force, I'm assuming, might be more science vessels being produced, might be Wraiths, I'm not quite sure. Observers getting picked off there by the Goliaths, and Goliaths still get themselves ready to engage these carriers if the carriers go down. If the carriers go down, that's it. That's it for Violet. But if that doesn't happen, if the carriers are still going to be allowed free reign to go around the map, then really going to be way too hard for Light to continue to get back into this game. There are going to be some Wraiths out there for him to try to continue fighting this back, and if he gets Cloak on them, that might help as well. One EMP going off on those High Templars, unfortunately, for Violet. But still, Violet, I believe, in a slightly stronger position here overall.
Not so sure about that because Light, he is mining at this point, and Violet kind of isn't. He has some mining inside of his natural expansion, and his big advantage right now are his carriers, as you said. He has plenty of carriers, but he can't afford to lose any at this stage in the game. I'm not even sure if he has his Stargates activated yet or not. I'm not sure if they even have power, but coming up with his entire troop, taking out the 12 o'clock base, and he has Storm in, so he's going to be able to deal with a large number of Goliaths. So he's going to have to fight bit by bit, and I believe that Violet will be able to do this, even though there's a whole lot of Goliaths in here right now for Violet. If he comes in with his ground army as well and gets some Storm over these, he might be able to do this, but he can't afford to lose all of his interceptors like this. Got to fall back, and there are cloaked wraiths in now for Light, so he's trying to fight this back. I'm not sure if there's even an observer in the area, so now Violet trying to snipe these wraiths. I think he is. He took out one that, the comsat station up there, the lone comsat. A lot of Storm in from Violet, and Violet slowly but surely fighting here. He did take out that 12 o'clock, and that was a major source of income for Light.
Oh, God. A bunch of the carriers going down. Only 4 carriers left, I think. Some of the Storms caught him as well, and the cloak ran out. So as soon as that happened, the Wraiths went Betty-bye. And when I say Betty-bye, I mean death. Still, and I don't think Light has any mining. That's the problem for him right now. I mean, I'm sorry, Violet. I don't think Violet has any mining. Light, I still think is mining the lower right hand. I think he's reestablished that. And he still has some mining there, so he can still produce some Goliaths. But Violet has nothing, and I'm surprised. I don't know. Does he not have enough resources? I don't even know what's going on. Maybe he just found himself running out of minerals without noticing. I don't really know, because he's not put up a base since then. I don't even see him distance mining anywhere, and I'm kind of weirded out by that. He's going to send out Dragoons towards this bottom right, pick off all the turrets, and send the carriers and an Archon in to finish that off. That base of Light's going to go down. He has some forces running in back, I think, but that's not going to do too much for him. There are some probes out there for Violet. They were just mining out the mineral only. Some vultures coming in to pick those off. The Light loses yet another base, and still some carriers, unfortunately, left to arrive. If those Wraiths had managed to pick all of those off, this would not be the case. I think Light would have still managed to stay in this, but I'm not sure. Both players not mining at all, but I just think at this point a stronger troop on the ground and in the air for Violet.
Yeah, I think you're right. Violet is keeping most of his troops together, so it will be impossible for Light to just do a pincer attack and take out maybe the Dragoons if he can isolate the Dragoons, but he won't be able to isolate anything if the troop is all together like this. And Violet, I think he's going to try to end it with that troop, with his ground army and his carriers, while Light is going for the attack with his SCVs. Powerful SCVs. These are not StarCraft 2 SCVs. They don't have 45 health, so they're going to be able to go in there and get a lot of damage done. So let's see where the carrier troop is going now. Carrier's still staying very close to those Dragoons, and there is an observer in the area, so he's going to be able to deal with mines and everything like that, and cloaked wraiths, which that investment really didn't work out for Light. These cloaked wraiths really didn't get much done, especially, there's still an observer in. So Light is trying to take that 12 o'clock base. All of his SCVs are up there. I think that's going to be his last hope, because he doesn't have any production whatsoever. He doesn't have any mining. Of course, Violet doesn't have any mining either, but he has such a strong army out there.
Oh, God, SCV's going to run up, trying to run away. They're most of them going to die. I'm surprised why he sent out those SCVs to fight at that mineral only. That wasn't really mining, so there's no really resources for him to take or anything like that. Might have instead tried to pick up the upper left hand. I don't really know what Light could have done to get back into this. It's overall just a bad position to be in. Violet's not really mining much either, but I think he's just focusing so much on trying to micro his troops around, trying to stay on the map. Light doing a minimum amounts of damage with vultures somewhere. He has a few wraiths in there, had a couple of tanks, but most of his Goliaths, I think, have died by now, so not really much else for him to hold back into this. I find myself having a question in my mind. Why did Violet go for an Arbiter Tribunal alongside his fleet beacon? He had an Arbiter Tribunal, and no Arbiter had been produced the entire game, so I'm kind of wondering about that, but I guess I'm just going to have to keep wondering. And Light at this point, 4 Goliaths that run back, and Wraiths that sit around and don't have a science vessel to help them do the kill observer things. So I'm pretty thinking at this point it's pretty definite that Violet has the upper hand. He just has enough troops to win this game.
Yeah, Light, he's trying to float off everything so he can maybe get a defense while he's going out there destroying everything that Light has. Everything that Violet has, sorry. This is becoming an elimination race now, and the SCVs are actually going to be important because Light has to use them to fight and destroy all these buildings. But Light, he has some building. I think he has some buildings down at the 6 o'clock position. He still has his wraiths out there, of course. And he doesn't have any real way of scanning and getting rid of those observers, though. So he's not going to be able to snipe the observers, so the cloak isn't going to help him at all. And still a lot of buildings out here for Violet. This is going to take a long time to get rid of. So I think that Violet will be able to do this, but it might take him a little bit of time to do it. Light's being very frustrated. He looks very frustrated here, just floating off everything in all kinds of different directions, trying to get another scan. He knows that's very important. If he can pick off the remaining observers, he might actually be able to win, because with the cloak raised, he can just stay cloaked and then back off when he loses cloak, but he'll be able to snipe everything then.
Yeah, but still, just how to do it. He's not going to be able to reproduce anymore another army because of, well, those dying factories. And I still think that Violet's going to... He has most of his observers grouped up, but I think he's going to be able to like run one of those away and like keep it in a hidden location for the future to be able to use. But just unfortunately, with a lack of army, Light just doesn't have anything to really fight in this elimination race. And even if it does happen, can you imagine how long this game would take if we'd see wraiths fighting an elimination race? Shoot down the building! Shoot down the building! It's gonna take 2 years, Sarge. I don't care. Shoot down the building!
Look at the SCVs fighting gallantly down there inside of the main. There's a single vulture down there too. Thankfully, Violet finally pulls back some troops, and there's a Wraith picking off an Archon, almost picking off that Archon. I think it was down in red anyway. It just had some shield on it. But Violet still has a pretty nice little handful of Dragoons out, as long as he steers clear of mines. I mean, Violet's got to be as careful as possible around these mines. Got to keep an observer with them at all times. But a lot of Wraiths out, so Light is counting on these Wraiths to win him the game. He's got to find the observers somehow and snipe them. But as you said, that's going to be difficult because Violet is grouping his observers together and no doubt keeping them by an army at all times.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, one scan. But that might have been a wasted scan. I mean, Light only has one scanner right now. He has one comsat station that he can use to scan and fight off these observers. And I don't think that Violet will be stupid enough to just leave his observers out in the middle of the map, not all of them anyway, to get sniped.
At this point, it's not really a very good game for spectators, I suppose. It's kind of not really much else going on. We're just waiting we're basically waiting for Light to, not either get his Wraiths picked off and GG, or just kind of start crying and GG. Basically. I'm not, I know that sounds a bit harsh, but overall, just the chances of him getting back into this game are so slim. It's kind of hard. Wraith's gonna try to come in yet again, gonna start killing off buildings. He's gonna take part in the elimination race, as I said. Command center are gonna be forced to float.
Oh, no.
Oh man, this is I think with that last comset station inactive, I think with that command center going down, I think it's gonna be GG from Light as soon as that happens.
Well, Violet's got to play a little bit smarter here. I don't think he has any troops at home to actually defend his bases, so he's counting on the fact that he can eliminate Light first. But Light, as you can see from the minimap, he has buildings all over the map. So I think that Violet, just go back and get rid of these troops. I mean, you have the observers. You can get this done. Don't let Wraiths eliminate you. Come on. That is ridiculous. He can keep his Dragoons here, eliminating all these bases for Light. But Light is staying in here with his Wraiths. Eventually, he'll be able to kill everything from Violet, but of course, it's going to take a long time for that to happen. So Violet is coming back with an observer. He has a bunch of observers out on the map now, actually. So if he comes in, snipes all those Wraiths, he'll have this game. But, oh man, he's actually still letting all these troops destroy his main. Poor Wraiths. They're so weak.
Yeah, but as soon as those carriers come in, which they're doing now with Dragoons to support too, the Wraiths are just not going to be able to do anything. Even if they cloak, the observers are in play, and there's no comsat station for Light here. So yeah, they do cloak, and they're going to try to fight this off. But yeah, GG. Aggressive GG. I lost, but I could have won. Oh well. So that was a fun yet somewhat frustrating match.
Yeah, that must have been a very frustrating match for Light because he came so close to winning that. Just probably lost it by 1 or 2 mistakes if you think about it.
Yeah, Light actually should have been able to finish it off if he hadn't made some mistakes and let Light kind of get back into this game, he should have been able to completely crush him, actually. But, oh well.
Yep, moving on.